Good afternoon, Ospreys. You're watching Nest News live from the Student Union. I'm Max McBride.
And I'm Rodrigo Arias. Coming up on today's show, a rally downtown in Jacksonville.
A student government survey in clubs.
Reviewing Senate Bill 266.
And the weather. Stay tuned and enjoy the show. Before we get into Nest News today, we'd like to take a moment to grieve an Osprey that we lost this past weekend. Noah Dowdy, 23, was a junior studying communications, a member of the UNF Frisbee team, and was very involved on campus, UNF wrote. He was also a member of the Florida Air National Guard 125th Fighter Wing, serving in the maintenance squadron as an egress systems technician. The University of North Florida confirmed to Spinnaker that he died in a traffic accident on Saturday. First reported by First Coast News, an unidentified motorcyclist, later confirmed to be Dowdy, rear-ended and caught fire on impact with a garbage truck, according to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. A visitation ceremony for Dowdy will be held on Monday at 5 p.m. at the Hartage Giddens Chapel Hills Funeral Home, followed by a celebration of life at 7 p.m., according to his obituary. For grieving members of the Osprey community, the Counseling Center is available for individual and group counseling. Support services are available at the Counseling Center website or at the Dean of Students Care Services team. Those interested in sharing a memory of Dowdy can do so on the UNF Fallen Ospreys page.
On Monday evening, activist groups and many Jacksonville residents joined together to speak out against those supporting Israel, drawing a line connecting those conflicts overseas and the Black liberation movement in America. Chants of free, free Palestine and from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, echoed off surrounding buildings as they protested in front of the Duval County Courthouse. Later, they marched around it. Local activist groups like the Jacksonville Community Action Committee and the University of North Florida Students for a Democratic Society have already pledged their support for Palestine. Since it began on Saturday, there have been at least 2,200 lives lost on both sides, and the war is expected to escalate. The Associated Press reported on Wednesday morning. Multiple speakers in Monday's rally called on America to separate Hamas from the Palestinians. On Sunday, the Pentagon announced it was sending additional munitions to Israel and moving Navy warships closer to the country in a show of support. The New York Times reported, Israel is an ally of the U.S. Stay with Spinnaker as we continue to cover the Israel-Hamas war's impact on the UNF and Jacksonville community. Here at UNF on the same day, the Jacksonville and UNF's Jewish committee members gathered for a vigil. Student leadership at the Jewish Student Union emphasized that though the community is still mourning the attacks overseas, they remain full of resilience and strength. We come together to support one another and to gain strength from one another. Rabbi Shmuley Novak, the founder of the Chabad of Southside, told the assembled crowd at the vigil. Because the Jewish community was observing Shabbat, the Jewish day of rest from sunset on Friday to sunset on Saturday, many students had no idea Israel was under attack till Sunday. According to Zine and Aliyah, the Jewish Student Union's vice president. Analiah said they have family in southern Israel affected by the war. With many of her cousins called up to the reserves, they haven't been able to get in contact with them yet. As the story echoed across the university and the Jacksonville communities, with many Jewish students connected to Israel by family and friends. The U.S. already sees the impacts of the Israel-Palestine war that began 5 days ago. Extremists, anti-Semites, and conspiracy theories are flocking to the online spaces to cheer for Hamas, the Anti-Defamation League said. Even in the first 18 hours since the conflict began, hateful rhetoric against the Jewish community and Israel spiked significantly, the organization published on Saturday. For students feeling scared or wanting to talk, Analiah said that the Jewish Student Union is always open to chat. Stay with Spinnaker as we continue to cover the Israel-Hamas war's impact on the UNF and the Jacksonville community.
Student government is looking to hear from the campus community about the usage of student lounges in the student union and thoughts on improvements. The survey, released in September, came a few months after the SG executive branch opted to return an interfaith prayer space back to the student union. This space had been converted from a student lounge the year prior. That topic has already crept into many of the responses to the survey so far, along with a few concerns about safety on campus when students are praying now that the space no longer exists, according to the unofficial survey results. SG releases Osprey Voices typically monthly, which are surveys about various topics usually related to campus improvement and community experience, among others. It's been a week since this survey was released, and there are already 59 responses, according to current unofficial statistics provided by SG. However, in order for the results to be considered statistically significant, the survey needs at least 376 student responses, according to Senator Lizzie Morales, who told the University and Student Affairs Committee on Friday. Morales serves as the chair of the committee. Questions in the survey pitch various additions to lounges scattered across campus, such as nap pods, lockers, microwaves, and others. Yet, some respondents expressed a want for an interfaith space to return. With 16 questions total, 5 being demographic questions, 2 open-ended, and the rest being multiple choice, the survey asked respondents how often they use the lounges, why they visit them, and what they would like to see added or changed. The survey is open to UNF students, faculty, and staff. Check out the link in the description below to find the survey. It will close October 20th.
Student clubs at UNF may soon be limited in how much funding they can request from student government under a new financial code provision proposed by Treasurer Michael Barkle. There are over 150 student clubs called registered student organizations at UNF. Each one of them can ask for funding from SG for events and other operations. Under the current finance code, those requests go in front of the Budget and Allocations Committee, which must be approved with a majority vote. If approved, it goes before the full Senate for final approval. In the past, there was no limit on how many times or how much money these clubs could request from SG. If the Senate passes this new proposed revision, they would be limited to 2 funding requests. Requests below $7,000 would have to be approved by the majority vote from the B&A committee and a 2/3 vote from the Senate. If a request asks for more than $7,000, it would require a 2/3 vote from both the B&A committee and the Senate under the proposal, according to the Title 8 revisions document SB 23F3708. Spinnaker requested a comment from the Treasurer Barkle regarding why he proposed the change, but he declined to comment because the legislation is still pending. However, multiple anonymous sources told Spinnaker that Barkle allegedly told the B&A committee that he was proposing the changes to be fiscally conservative and make all RSOs equal by granting them access to the same amount of funds. How the revision proposal would impact the UNF's RSOs is unknown. There are a variety of clubs at UNF, and some have higher funding requests than others. The Senate will hear the Treasurer Barkle's proposal on Friday during their regular meeting. However, it is unclear whether the proposed revision will apply to the funding request if passed.
On Monday, President Lamam announced that UNF is reviewing proposed guidance from the Board of Governors for following SB 266. After months of uncertainty, this draft regulation is the community's first look at how SB 266 could specifically impact the university and the future of its diversity centers. SB 266 is a recently signed law that bans state higher education institutions from advocating for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and promoting or engaging in political or social activism. This includes banning universities from putting state and federal funds toward these programs. It outlines definitions for diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, political or social activism, social issues, and more, which are used throughout the 3-page document. DEI is defined in the proposed regulation as any program, activity, or policy that promotes differential or preferential treatment of individuals or classifies such individuals on the basis of race, color, sex, national origin, gender identity, or sexual orientation. Though the law officially took effect earlier this year, universities have waited on specific guidance from the Board of Governors before making any adjustments to their programming, leaving the future of departments like UNF's LGBTQ Center up in the air. In his email Monday afternoon, President Lamam wrote that we'll continue to keep you updated and we'll share the final proposed regulation when it goes to the BOG for approval. To read the full draft of the regulation, visit the link below.
Gee, Max, I wonder if it's going to rain today.
That is a great question, Rodrigo. You know what? Maybe there's a way we can find out. Let's go to Annette for your weekly weather update.
Hello, Ospreys. My name is Annette Howard, reporting live on your local weather. Today's weather is mostly cloudy with a high of 84 and a low of 68. These warm temperatures will continue throughout the weekend, with Saturday having a high of 84 with a low of 63 and Sunday having a high of 78 with a low of 57. These weekend low temperatures will continue throughout the week with low to mid-50s and highs of 70. This week will be mostly sunny with expected showers to start near the end of the week. That's all the weather updates I have for you today, Ospreys, so make sure to get out and enjoy the Florida sunshine. Back to you, Rodrigo and Max.
Are you new to campus or want some new insight into what's provided here at UNF? Check out Spinnaker's 2023 Freshman Zine. In here, you'll find all sorts of tips on sports here at UNF, parking, how to join a club, and other resources here on campus. Pick up one of these from any of the blue boxes around campus.
That's just about all we have for you today, Ospreys.
Remember, consider donating to Support Spinnaker through the link in the description below.
For all things Spinnaker, check us out at our website at unfspinnaker.com.
Also, make sure to follow us on our Instagram at UNFSpinnaker and check out the rest of our YouTube for more content.
As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rodrigo Arias.
And I'm Max McBride, and we'll see you next week on Spinnaker's Nest News.